Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that sounds like it's straight out of a history book: the United States trying to buy Greenland. But here's the thing: this isn't history. It's happening right now, and it's quickly turning into a global issue with huge implications for all of us.
Okay, let's just dive right in. As of early 2026, the idea of the US buying Greenland isn't just some quirky headline anymore. Nope. Inside Washington, this is a real, active, and very serious policy debate. So the real questions are, why now? And why is this push suddenly so intense? So to really get our heads around this, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at the current political play, what makes the island such a treasure, the long history behind this American dream, the global pushback, and the really dangerous domino effect this whole thing could set off. All right, first up, the Greenland Gambit. Let's talk about what's happening right here, right now. In early 2026, the Trump administration isn't just throwing this idea out there. They've seriously ramped things up, framing the purchase of Greenland not as a real estate deal, but as an absolute national security imperative. Now, this push is coming hot on the heels of a big U.S. military operation down in Venezuela that signals a much more aggressive American foreign policy. And that context, it's everything. It's why allies and rivals alike are no longer just shrugging this off as talk. They are now taking the push for Greenland very, very seriously. So, what's the big deal with a giant island of ice, right? Why does Greenland suddenly matter so much? Well, the answer is this powerful mix of military strategy, untouched natural resources, and the really weird paradox of climate change. First off, let's talk military strategy. Greenland is basically the gatekeeper to a supercritical maritime choke point, the GI-UK gap. It stretches from Greenland to Iceland and over to the UK. For decades, controlling this gap has been the key to bottling up the Russian Navy in the Arctic. It is the doorway to the Atlantic, and whoever holds that key has immense power. But it's not just about military maps. Greenland is sitting on an economic treasure trove. We're talking huge untapped deposits of rare earth minerals. You know, the stuff that's essential for everything from our smartphones to advanced missile systems. And this is where that climate paradox kicks in. As the ice melts, all these riches, plus brand new Arctic shipping routes, are opening up for the first time ever. It could literally rewrite the map of global trade. Now, you might be thinking this is some brand new, out-of-the-blue idea, but nope, not even close. The American desire for Greenland is an old dream, one that actually goes back more than 150 years. This timeline really tells the whole story. Back in 1946, just as the Cold War was heating up, President Truman offered to buy the island. Denmark said no, but 5 years later, they agreed to a defense treaty that gave us the critical Thule air base. Then you fast forward to 2019, when Trump first brought up the idea again, and by 2026, it's gone from a weird musing to a serious strategic objective. So with this old American interest fired up again, how did the world react to the new push? To put it mildly, not great. The response has been swift, unified, and overwhelmingly negative. Outside of the White House, you'd be hard-pressed to find any support for this at all. And the most important voices in this whole debate, the people of Greenland, have been absolutely crystal clear. Their message is simple: Greenland is not for sale. Its future will be decided in their capital, Newark, not in Washington. They're on their own path, and for many of them, that path is leading toward total independence. Denmark, which still has sovereignty over the island, has backed Greenland's position 100%. The Danish Prime Minister even put out this really stark warning, saying that this kind of aggressive move doesn't just create tension, it threatens to fracture the entire NATO alliance from the inside out. And the opposition doesn't stop with Denmark. It's like a united front. Key NATO allies like the UK, France, Germany, and Canada have all publicly lined up to support Greenland's right to decide for itself. And that brings us to what might be the most crucial point of all. This isn't just about one island in the Arctic. No. Analysts are warning that this move could set an incredibly dangerous global precedent with a domino effect that could reach far, far beyond the North Atlantic. This visual lays out the nightmare scenario perfectly. Step 1. A superpower like the US justifies taking territory by just calling it a national security issue. If that happens, it basically rips up the international rulebook. What's to stop other powers from using the exact same playbook? And the biggest worry is that this could give a green light to China to act on its long-held ambitions for Taiwan. I mean, when you put the arguments side by side, the parallels are pretty chilling. The justifications, national security, strategic resources, countering a rival, you could almost copy and paste them. And analysts warn that if this whole Greenland push leads to a weakened and divided NATO, it would be that much harder for Washington to rally allies and stop a similar move from happening in Asia.
So as this plays out in 2026, a strange diplomatic standoff has turned into a genuine global test. The outcome isn't just going to define the future of the Arctic, it could define the stability of the entire international order. So the question we're all left with is, will this gambit be resolved peacefully, or is Greenland about to become the world's next major flashpoint?